I apologize. So I'm going to talk about LinkedIn and why I encourage you to make the best use of your LinkedIn is that your LinkedIn is your new resume. So today, in today's day, basically so many recruiters and businesses, they don't ask for your resume. They just go and check your profile, and from there you get an interview or you might not. So why LinkedIn? LinkedIn has become the new resume for professional and job seekers. And also LinkedIn is the #1 channel B2B marketers use to distribute content at 94%. So 94% of B2B marketers use LinkedIn as a content distributor, comparing with Twitter at 89% and Facebook and YouTube at 77%. So you can see that if you have something to share, which you should have, LinkedIn should be your first stop. And for Parsa, for Amipuyan, all those businesses that they want to actually grow in their business and get connected to other businesses, LinkedIn is where they should start for. So I'm going to share some statistics here. LinkedIn now has over 660 million members, 3 million active job listings every day. 94% of employers and recruiters use LinkedIn. So why should you go anywhere else to look for a job? And 40% of monthly active users use LinkedIn only because more than 30 million companies are in LinkedIn, and about 14 million open jobs are on LinkedIn. So no wonder why people go looking for a job on LinkedIn. Also, LinkedIn is the most used social media platform amongst Fortune 500 companies. So in fact, in a study found that 122 million, I'm just going to repeat that, 122 million people received an interview through LinkedIn. And 35.5 million have been hired by a person they connected with on the site. So this is for the job seekers. Let's focus on the B2B or business to business statistics. LinkedIn makes up more than 50% of all social traffic to B2B. So 50% is from LinkedIn and the rest is from Facebook and Twitter. They have actually more active users, but LinkedIn clearly separates itself as the go-to for B2B content distribution. 91% of marketing executives list LinkedIn as the top place to find quality content. So one other thing is that if you want to find the quality content, you don't go to Instagram, you don't go to Twitter. Actually, 29% use Twitter for quality content, or 27% use Facebook for quality content. Another fact is that 38% of B2B marketers say LinkedIn is generating revenue for them. So again, for businesses, it's more, 3 times more than Twitter, 4 times more than Facebook, 19 times more than Instagram. Another good reason to use LinkedIn. And LinkedIn generates 3 times more conversation than Twitter and Facebook. So in a study from Hotspot, it shows clearly that it's the LinkedIn actually generates the highest visitor to lead conversation at 2.7%, almost 3 times higher than Twitter and Facebook. So LinkedIn is without a doubt the place to be for B2B marketers. Now I'm going to just quickly go over the your profile and what are the most important things that you should basically make sure that you don't miss when you're filling out your profile or completing your profile. One is the picture. So LinkedIn profiles with photos get 21 times more views and 36 times more messages. So make sure to have a picture. And it's really good if you do this professional headshot with the photographers. I use Merdat for services for my LinkedIn profile, but if you can't, you can just use your cell phone. Cell phone is great for headshots, but don't leave it empty. Headline. So nowadays, headline changed. Before was only maybe your title or some your position, but right now is your title. Then you add at least 5 of the skills that you have, which are actually keywords for your, so they can help you to in search engine to be actually searchable. And also it should tells a little story about you. So again, title change, headline change, you need to have skills and a story there. So make sure you list your current position, because and don't forget to list at least 5 of your relevant skills, because when you do that, you get 31 times more likely to be actually searchable and to be viewed. LinkedIn is a platform to talk about you, to be visible, and what you can do for people. So use it. Don't just make a profile there. Summary is the most important part of your profile, and I cannot emphasize how much this is important. It impacts your algorithm. And then the 2 first line that you write on your summary is the most important one. Why? Because it actually, if it's impactful, it encourages people to hit that more button, which helps the algorithm of the LinkedIn to make you more visible in searches. So make sure that the first 2 lines are impactful, and it should tell a story about you beyond your roles and responsibilities. For example, if you did something, like if you're the champion of boxing or something, you make sure to mention that in your summary. Experience should be beyond just writing a resume line. It should be what do you do that other people don't. In terms of education, one thing that I like to mention is that you have the option to bring the most relevant education up in the profile. So it's not like the last certificate or diploma or degree that you got has to be at the top of your page. You can actually reorder that. In terms of skills, you need to have, LinkedIn allows you to have 50 skills, but only the 3 skills gets shown in your profile. So you need to make sure that two skills are your hard skills, and one skills is your soft skills. And you actually can reorder it. And the other thing is that it takes 99 endorsements to actually makes you become an expert in one field. So anything below 99 endorsement doesn't count as an expert. So you want to make sure to encourage people, ask people to endorse you. And how you do that, you can go and endorse them so they kind of feel obligated to come back and endorse you. You can have an endorsement party in your organization and say, let's endorse each other, because again, this will help your algorithm in for the search engine of LinkedIn. So make sure to ask people to endorse you, even your husband, your wife, anybody that has a link, because the only things matter is that number that needs to go high and show you in the search. Courses and certifications. Did you know that courses you take and complete via LinkedIn Learning associates your profile with those skills? So if you actually take a course on LinkedIn Learning, then that skills become your skill in search engines. Recommendation. It's really good to ask for a recommendation. There is nothing better than having people recognize you for the things you do well. But then the best thing is that to write that recommendation yourself, because you want to emphasize on the areas that works for you. They might just write a generic recommendation, or at least make some points that I want this skills or this qualities to be mentioned. Regarding the interest, I can tell you this, that whenever I want to connect with somebody, I go first check their interest, and then if I like those interests, I add them to my interest. And then when I send the connection, they actually see some interest between us, and that makes them more basically willing to connect with me. The thing about LinkedIn is that you need to share and you need to add value to your LinkedIn network. So you can, how do you invest in social reciprocity? How? You can actually answer questions. Like most of people send a post and they ask, like, what's your idea? You can provide advice, give feedback. You can like, as simple as like, will help other people to be more visible. So these are the ways that you can add value to your network. But make sure that when you're sharing something, keep your content professional, post at a reliable cadence. So you might want to do 3 times a day, you might want to 1 time a week, you might want to do 1 time a month, but you make sure that you are consistent, so your network expects that, like, okay, by the end of this week, I see something, for example, from Vahide. And make sure that your posts are relevant to your personal brand. Like, for example, till today, I was posting about engineering and coaching and all those things. But then from tomorrow, I start posting, for example, gardening or cooking or something. So it's like my network will think like, what's happening with Vahida's life? So it should be relevant to your personal brand. The most important part on LinkedIn is connecting with people. So don't only use connect button. So many of us might be lazy to add a message. Make sure to go to more and send a personalized invite to that person. Because I just want to give you a statistic that it actually brings the willingness of the other people much like they will be more willing to connect with you when you say that I saw your profile, we share something, and I like to, for example, share the wisdom of your post or learn from your line of product or something like, or line of work. Instead, if you just send a connect without saying something, it's just some people might even get annoyed with that. So always send a personalized note, and I actually make some templates for that, and you might even have 3 different templates for different reasons. So for example, if I'm getting connected with somebody for coaching, my template would be different than when I'm connecting for business. And so but just when you're sending these connections, make sure that you don't end up to LinkedIn jail. Believe it or not, LinkedIn has a jail, and if you actually if 5 people reject send that click that I don't know this person, you will end up to jail, LinkedIn jail. So make sure that you don't end up to that jail. I was actually, before getting to premium, I was using the free page. And when you're running a business, you want to connect as many people as possible. And I sent so many requests, and I actually end up to jail for 24 hours. My LinkedIn was totally shut down. So make sure to not do that. And the other thing is that if you send some requests and you don't hear back from people, you can actually go after a week or 2 and retract your or like undo your request. This way, the amount of your requests will get down, and again, you don't end up in LinkedIn jail. I'm just going to share with you some of my best practices that I did with my clients and I used myself. So one is that remind people that you exist. So say happy birthday, happy new year, use a special days to connect with those people. Somehow make yourself visible. Like if I want, for example, a CEO to get notice of me, I go like their posts, I comment on their posts. So it believe it or not, it takes sometimes about 17 times approaching someone to make them remember you, because it's not really easy to be remembered on LinkedIn. So remind people that you exist. Ask for a virtual or in-person meeting. This worked very good for my clients and myself again. So what I do is that when I connect with people and they accept my connection, I ask that, do you have like 10 or 15 minutes to talk, like in, let's say, next 2 weeks, either on the phone or in person before Corona time, or now on Zoom. And by surprise, you see how many people are really willing to connect with you. And out of these connections, I either end up with another connection, or I either end up with a business, or so it's really good to ask people, to talk with them, just see what they're up to and how you can help each other. The third best practice that I do is connect first, then send your resume. So if you find a job on, I don't know, Indeed, first find the people on that company, approach them like an anonymous person. You don't know about that job, you just want to get connected, and say, I want to get connected with you. And then after they got connected with you, then ask them to, oh, by the way, I saw that advertisement, like job posting on the Indeed, and I want to know how can you help me. I actually did this a few weeks ago with one of my clients. She approached that person. She didn't know. I usually, it depends. Like you need to be very strategic. So the guy was 3 months in that job, and it's more likely to answer or connect with you. So we approached him, and the day after, we saw that he actually is responsible to recruit for that job. We didn't know that. It wasn't obvious from the job title. So it's good to connect with people before applying for the job, and this way you get your resume to the hand of the person that is actually responsible, or a key person. And at the end, I can tell you that on LinkedIn, you get what you give. So give as much as possible, then you can get good results, and actually best results. Thank you.
Thank you, Wahida. Thank you so much.